So the first video I wanted to do was to show you what you need before you start making any traditional fudge. So the first thing you need is a non-stick pan. So I use a never stick pan. In my book I tell you exactly which pan I use, and all of my recipes are based on the tools that I use to make the fudge. So if you buy different tools, you might get different results. You also need a thermometer. Again, in my book, I tell you exactly which one I need, which one I use. I tried using a digital thermometer when I first started, and I just found they weren't as accurate as a proper sugar thermometer, and the temperature for a traditional fudge has to be so exact, otherwise it's not going to set. Has to be 116 degrees, otherwise it's not going to set. And I learnt from using a digital thermometer in the very beginning that it just wasn't reliable enough. And I ended up with loads of batches of fudge that didn't set. As soon as I went to one of them, started setting, every batch since set. Need a scales. They don't have to be covered in duck stickers like mine, but when I purchased this scales recently, I couldn't cope with it just being plain silver. So like my old scales that I had before, it got covered in stickers. Last time it was SpongeBob, and I had those scales for 15 years, and then I dropped them in the sink accidentally, didn't work. So this time I've gone for my favourite Ducky Loves. Obviously you need a wooden spoon. You need your tins. So I get my tins. When I first started, I bought one tin from Morrison's because I live near Morrison's. But these are 9-inch tins. So again, all my recipes are based on you using this size tin, 9-inch square tin. They cost, I think, £3 from Morrison's. Mine have been used over 1,000 times. So you definitely get your money's worth out of it. And remember, if you're not using a tin as big as that, then you will have to change the quantities to fit what you're using. But all of my recipes are based on these tools. Baking paper to line the tins with, essential. Scissors for cutting the baking paper. I think that's it. So let's begin with our first recipe.